Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, voice for radio, all the usual stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lovely stream. We're going to be doing Community Raid Hour, as has become a little bit of a fixture. 5 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday. We head on over and do some streaming. And we do some raiding. And you guys raid with me. And once again, the lovely folks over at TPCI, the Pokemon Company International, have gone and given us a code to give away, which is rather nice of them. So we're going to be giving away a code for Let's Go Eevee this week. And I am a little bit excited. We are go! Now, apologies, the stream did start a minute ago, and annoyingly, I was here. The stream was ready at 4:30 today. So half an hour ago, stream was ready to go. And for some reason I don't completely understand, it was set to private. And then when I tried to fix it, the stream crashed. And it all went a little bit wrong. But we're here now, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to go. And I, for one, am a little bit excited. And like I say, we are giving away a copy of Let's Go Eevee on today's stream, and we are doing so by virtue of the lovely folks at the Pokemon Company International. Now, I need to make sure I'm connected to the internet, because I seem to forget to do that every week. And hello to the early people that have come into the stream nice and early. SB 200, Jens, Nick, and PooTube, whose name I'm not going to say very often, sorry. Meta Matcha. Hello to all you lovely people. Hopefully we'll get a bunch more people and life will be good. And we can join in and have a whole bunch of fun. So, let's throw some links around, shall we? And then we'll get going. I am notoriously bad at popping out links while also talking. Alrighty then. Okay. I always feel like if I don't throw links around, people aren't going to come and watch, but I have no idea how much difference it actually makes if I throw the links around or not. So, I don't know. We'll see. Huh. My apologies. Right. Okay, so, hello to you lovely people in the chat. How do you come and raid with me? All you need to do is, now I'm going to put a code on each of the raids, and the code, as every week, is going to be 4444. So you can either come physically with me to the location and join in the raid. If you want to add me as a friend, I'll be putting my friend code up on screen in a moment, or you can do so using a code 4444. Either is fine by me. Now, the theme for this week, and there is a theme as there is every week, the theme for this week, let's go over here, shall we? The theme for this week is Rebel Clash, the new Pokemon TCG expansion. We are using Pokemon that are featured in the expansion. And as you can see from the little border there, I'm going Phalanx for the entire stream today, regardless of which Pokemon we're actually going against. Now, I think rather than just using Pokemon that are in Rebel Clash, we should use Pokemon that make their debut in Rebel Clash. And Phalanx V and Phalanx Regular are both. You've actually got the first two Phalanx. Please come raid me or else I'll be lonely. The first two Phalanx we ever get are both in Rebel Clash. So to me, it seems kind of sensible that we would have Phalanx. So, Flambo's here. He's got himself a Duskmane Crozma. We've got an Alolan Persian with Zentire. Do the Zacian and Zamazenta theme decks count? Oh, let's say yes. Let's say yes, they do. And we're ready to go. Now, I know people joining in this one didn't necessarily hear. It would be awesome if you would be kind enough to use a Pokemon that was featured in Rebel Clash. And if you want to know Pokemon that are featured in Rebel Clash, let me go just get you a set list. We use Cerebi.net because the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net is the person who set this community raid hour up. So, there is a link in the chat now. If you want to know which Pokemon are in Rebel Clash, just follow that link over to Cerebi, and you can find yourself a complete list of all the Pokemon in Rebel Clash. You got your Butterfree, your Shuckle, your Heracross, but I would like to focus on Pokemon that make their debut in Rebel Clash. And like I say, for me, it's Phalanx. You could go Flapple or Appleton. You could go for Corporaja. Makes debut in Rebel Clash. There are a bunch out there. Let's see if I can scroll down and find some more as we go. So, yeah, I'm not taking the Dynamax on this, but Phalanx marching. Come on, who doesn't love Phalanx? I incidentally do love the new Phalanx in Rebel Clash. It's got, so the Phalanx, a regular one for 2 energy, but we're also getting twin energy, so that's 1 attachment. Will do 30 damage for each Pokemon with Phalanx in its name on your bench, and that's the V and the non-V. And then the V reduces damage done to all of your Phalanx, V and non-V, by 20, but it stacks. So if you've got a Phalanx in the active, 4 Phalanx V and a regular Phalanx on the bench, then you're hitting 150 damage, reducing damage done by 80 on a single price, single energy Pokemon. That's kind of fun to me. Do I want a shiny Phalanx? Yes. We'll see if we can figure that one out at the end of the stream. That would be awesome. Wasn't Grimmsnarl in Rebel... I believe Grimmsnarl does debut in Rebel Clash. I always get a little bit confused because I'm always thinking a set or two ahead because of the releases in Japan and the videos I do. Thomas, I did check out your channel, your openings and stuff. It was kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed watching it. It was nice. Thank you for the heads up. And Thomas's channel is Cosmic Husky, so... You know, if you get 5 minutes later, you want something to check out, maybe you go check it out. Oh, you're right, there was Corporaja in Sword and Shield. I'm getting so excited about the VMAX Corporaja, you're right. And I really like the Corporaja in Sword and Shield. Does kind of huge damage, but you're really reliant on Metal Saucer. I've played around with the deck a bit. I've not been able to get it as consistent as I might like. Do I still need G-Max Dreadnought? I honestly can't remember. Toxtricity V is Rebel Clash. So I think Toxtricity definitely does debut in Rebel Clash, because Rebellion Crash, on which this was based, was where Toxtricity made its debut in Japan. Oh, come on! We were rubbish at catching last week, and it seems like we're carrying that on today as well. Boo! Will Dreadnought VMAX be fighting all water? I would imagine water, but I honestly don't know. As with everything, we haven't seen the card, so we can't say for certain how it's actually going to make its way over here. Oh, and okay, so Philip Murphy's doing his own raids. I hope you have fun and catch lots of Pokemon. I want to catch some Pokemon. I'm getting kind of jealous of all the Pokemon I'm failing to catch. Ha! I'm using Phalanx for the whole stream and I'm failing to catch the Pokemon. Does anyone think I might be bringing this upon myself? How do you join? When you're going into... So if you are playing, push Y and push X and you'll be able to find my... You'll be able to find the raids on there, and then you can join up with the code 4444, or you can just come to where I am in the world in person and join the raid with me that way. Oh, hey, Corporaja. How you doing? Man, I'm not finding any raids. Let's make a raid. We got a wishing piece to spare. I should rank the gym leaders in Kanto. Misty #1. Love me. I've got a little collection. Oh, little Torkoal. Let's smash up a Torkoal. Yeah, Misty's one of the very few... Oh, I've not put a code on for this. Anyone want to come and find me in person and do this? Who wants to come find me in person in front of the big gates? Now, let's pop me friend code up, shall we? So my friend code is 5549-0426-3890. So there's me friend code, and you can come and join me, add me as a friend, and come do some raiding with us. Oh, get in. I did wonder if people would be kind of around and coming in. Oh, look at that. So we've got Dragapult, who is debuting in Rebel Clash as both a V and a V Max. We've got Flapple, who is debuting in Rebel Clash, dropping damage counters and shuffling into the deck. And Cinderace. Now, Cinderace isn't debuting in Rebel Clash. There were actually 3 in Sword and Shield, if you count the theme deck one. But we do have Cinderace V and Cinderace V Max as some of the very best cards from Rebel Clash, so I am definitely going to allow it. Oh no, Kristaps missed all of my streams. They don't do very good business at all after the fact, but I do archive all of my streams after the fact, so, you know, you can always go check them out. Right, I'm Dynamaxing. Sorry, I'm taking the Dynamax. I'm not even that sorry. Mamoswine is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Love the reference there to my previous videos. Right, let's go. Let's go drop a link down in Burbank. I do ask as always, ladies and gentlemen, that if you do win the code, but you've got the game, please let me know so I can go and gift the game to somebody else instead. It is supposed to be a kind of, somebody ends up being gifted a game so they can, you know, play that during the lockdown and have fun and all of that and join in for a new game they've not played before. So if you do win it, but you've got it, please be honest and nice. Alrighty then. So, how we doing? Whoa, Dragon Dance. Shaking his tail. Very literally, I should say. Very literally shaking his tail. Right. Now, the next thing I want to do is go... Because we were going to try and raid with Birdkeeper Toby yesterday, but we couldn't actually get... Oh, no! Oh, poor Dragapult. That looked painful. That looked really painful. Okay, so Torkoal's using Lava Plume. Oh, yeah. That ain't doing much. Dragapult's burned. Sandstorm's buffeting. But I think we're doing all right. I feel moderately confident we're going to do this. I think we're going to get this working. Right, what am I doing? Well, I'm not going to use Max Flutterby. Great name, incidentally. So I think it's going to have to be this one. Oh, Grunkle Stan says, technically, when you Dynamax Phalanx, it becomes 6 Dynamax Pokemon. You're right. Phalanx is actually a group of Pokemon rather than one individual. So, yeah, I kind of love it. Hello, Green Yoshi. Subscribed and sent friend requests. Thank you, Edgar. I did actually yesterday or today, I hit 49,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, 49,000 in and of itself isn't a particularly huge number, but I am a month or two away from 50,000. And that's like, that's a big, I mean, in terms of the big milestones, you basically got 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000, and then 50, you know, 20 is a cool milestone, 25 is a cool milestone. But really, after 10,000, 50,000 is the next big milestone, and I'm so psyched. I am so psyched. Speaking of which, Wassy Plays, my other channel, did hit 10,000 this past week, and I am delighted. I mean, 2 channels both hit 10,000. I am incredibly grateful to any of you that ever watch, all of you watching at the moment, anyone who's subscribed, anyone who joins in with my channels in any way, shape, or form. I am so grateful and so delighted. You know, I'm trying to transition from teaching into just being a content creator, and anytime you watch a video, join a stream, subscribe to my channel, anytime you do anything along those lines, you're kind of helping me achieve my dream, as cheesy as that sounds, and I love you all for doing that. Oh no, I ignored my children! Daisy and Archie say hi. Hello, Daisy and Archie. Although again, there's no way Archie said hi. He's 6 months old. He can't talk yet. But, right, name my Torkoal. And yes, I wasn't looking at the chat for 2 minutes, and I ignored my children, for which I apologise. Oh, Zach, thank you very much. I never actually bother saying this. I never actually bother saying this, but you should subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, you absolutely should. Edgar says, what's the card you'd like for your collection? I'd love to donate if I can. Depends what you mean. Do you mean online collection or real life collection? Because that makes a big difference. Hi, Zach. Red Cooper, Colossal, Volcanian, Bomb. I don't know. Bomb seems kind of aggressive. Growl don't. Trent. Yeah. Oh, Timothy. Oh, I quite like Timothy. I like Tommy. Because obviously you got Timmy and Tommy in Animal Crossing. But no, it's got to be Trent. I have no idea why Trent makes sense as a name for a Torkoal, but I also love the way that giving these kind of silly names from the chat means that when I'm flicking through, when I'm sitting on my own and I'm flicking through my Pokemon boxes, I'm always going to recognize a Pokemon that we caught on stream because they're going to have the ones with the dumb names. And when I say dumb names, I mean that with nothing but love and admiration for you lovely ladies and gentlemen giving me the awesome dumb names. I mean dumb as a compliment here. And dumb isn't usually a compliment, but I feel confident saying that. Yeah, I feel confident it's a compliment. Man, I've been playing too much Animal Crossing. I see that and I'm like, man, I need to pick those weeds. And then I'm like, wait, this isn't Animal Crossing. I don't need to pick those weeds. But I kind of want to tidy up a little bit around here. Man, where are all the raids? I think when the next raid is starting, I'm going to hit up Toby. See, oh, hey, Excadrill. I love Excadrill. I'm still convinced somewhere out there I can make an aggro Excadrill deck using the recovery Excadrill to make me immune to Mildex. I'm still convinced that's possible. There is a part of me, obviously the Limitless TCG qualifiers are going on at the moment. There's a part of me that wants to just make some stupid Excadrill deck and just enter the Limitless qualifier and then just drop after like 4 rounds if I'm not 4-0. Just because the thing is, right, playing many rounds, playing an all-day tournament when you're in lockdown, cannot get any babysitters in and have 2 children, seems kind of mean to my wife. So, yeah. And, it's probably something I shouldn't do too much, but playing a few rounds for funsies seems like fun. Right, I'm going to have to just keep doing my own raids because I'm not finding any. I will accept friend requests as we're waiting for the next raid to start. There's a bunch of people in the chat saying they play Animal Crossing. Okay, let's have a quick question for the chat here. Very quickly, in the chat, tell me, are you playing Animal Crossing or not? Because I'd never played an Animal Crossing game before. I'd never been particularly interested in Animal Crossing. And yet, I picked up New Leaf. And not New Leaf, sorry. Wasn't it New Horizons? The Switch one, anyway. I picked up the Switch one purely because, hey, it's a Snorlax raid right next to the Snorlax. That's kind of cool. And I picked it up purely on the basis that all of my friends were playing it, and we had just been put into lockdown, and I wanted to join in with all of my friends that were playing it. And I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. I don't have the Latios and Latias heart-shaped card. No, I don't. I think I might have the regular. I don't have the heart-shaped one. No, I don't. And I'm loving it. And what's really cool, I'm in a Facebook group with a bunch of friends. And like this morning, somebody posted in that Facebook group that they had an animated cloud. They had an animated cloud. I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a minute. They had an animated cloud flooring. So I'm getting on my Switch this morning. I'm taking a break from making videos so that I can fly over to somebody's island and buy the animated cloud flooring from Sahara, because that was the only way to go and get this. It's a weirdly social game in a way I'm not used to playing these kind of games. It's really cool. Okay, so the reason I'm laughing, not in the chat, but my wife sent me a private message on Facebook going, what about the actual weeds in your actual garden? She's got a point. Going back to what I was saying about, wanting to weed in the game because of Animal Crossing. Oh. If you play Animal Crossing, add me on Switch. I mean, you should be adding me for this, to be honest. But if you play Animal Crossing, add me on that. I will. What I'll try and do occasionally is just kind of open up my island to anyone who's got my friend code. And then just kind of, if I'm sitting around in the evening not doing very much, just watching telly or whatever, you can all come and have a play on the island. Although, I want an animated cloud wall. Because then you can have the cloud wall and the cloud floor, and that would be amazing. Hey, St. Albans. Oh, that would be cool. Wait, did I pick a attack, or was I too busy looking at the chat? Did I? Oh, no, I did. Because I've Dynamaxed. I thought I had. I get one. Have I played Zelda or Star Fox? Zelda on the Switch, I absolutely adore. Again, I've never really been a Zelda fan. But Breath of the Wild made me buy a Switch. I was driving around on my honeymoon, and I downloaded a bunch of episodes of Nintendo Voice Chat, which has become one of my very, very favourite podcasts. And for the first week of the honeymoon, my wife and I didn't have a car. We were in New York, and then we flew over to Charlotte, North Carolina, and we had no car. And then for the second week of the honeymoon, we picked up a rental car, and we drove from Charlotte, North Carolina, down to the Everglades to go and see the Gators. So there was about 10 hours driving down, and we were going to get the car picked up from Florida, but it was hundreds of dollars more to get it picked up in Florida than if we dropped it back to Charlotte. So rather than flying from Florida back to New York, we drove to Charlotte and flew from Charlotte back to New York. So we had about 20 hours of driving just between Charlotte and the Everglades, plus all the driving around to zoos and such. We went to multiple zoos. And we listened to a bunch of Nintendo Voice Chat, and this was April 2017, which was as the Switch was coming out, and there was so much chatter about Breath of the Wild, and it was those podcasts on those journeys on my honeymoon that made me go, okay, I need a Switch now. Because at launch, the Switch didn't have that much new stuff, and I'd kind of resisting it, and it was, we're spending lots of money on the honeymoon. Can we really justify it? And then listening to Breath of the Wild. I kid you not, I promise you this is a true story. We were sitting in JFK, my wife and I, and we ran around to all the shops in JFK, the airport, and obviously there was nowhere selling a Switch. But we had about 8 or 9 hours waiting for our flight. Because we'd flown in, we weren't really going into New York, we were just flying from Charlotte to New York and New York back to London. So we had kind of an 8 or 9 hour layover. It was a big layover. And I was chatting to my wife, and my wife said, look, if you really want a Switch that badly, we went to the Pokémon Center in in New York. No, it was the Pokémon Center, it's now Nintendo Store. You can go to the Nintendo Store and buy a Switch. And the only difference, because the Switch is region free, the only difference would have been I'd have had an American plug and I'd have had to buy an English charger when I got home. But that would have been it. So, I was sitting there in JFK, and there's a shuttle that goes from JFK to New York, so not that close. And I reckon I could have done the round trip in kind of 5-6 hours-ish. But then I'm thinking if we hit too much traffic, if there's a car accident, whatever, we're going to miss our flight home to London. I was that close to jumping. I mean, it would have cost us about $100 just to get to New York and back from the airport, in addition to the cost of the Switch. I was so tempted to just get a shuttle back to New York, the city, just purely to buy a Switch. And bearing in mind, I had like a 8-hour flight home. Right, name it. I resisted in the end because it seemed hilariously irresponsible, but oh my word, I was close. It was about a week or two after I got home. My wife works in a retail store, and I was like, right, you work there, keep an eye when one comes into stock. And I was at work, and I was on my lunch break, it was my morning break, and I looked online, and they had one in stock, and I messaged my wife, who was on a train at the time, who messaged me back going, I've already reserved it. My wife is kind of lovely. There are many occasions when my wife proves to be lovely. I can't say too many nice things about her. She was listening to the stream, so she might still be listening. So we got to play it down just a little bit. Big man. Big man is a very kind of northern English thing to call people. I have been called big man on a number of occasions by a number of people, mostly from the north of England. Not exclusively, but it's very much a north of England thing to call... Thick Boy would have been such a good name. Name it Snorlax. Also, another one I really liked. What was it? Aditya Chopra said me after quarantine. Yeah, I've not been weighing myself after quarantine. That would be a little bit strange. Oh, okay. So we caught a Snorlax. It wasn't a Gigantamax Snorlax, but still, we caught a Snorlax. Let me know if you want less of the long, rambly stories. That was fun. But yeah, Breath of the Wild I absolutely adore. And like I say, Zelda and Animal Crossing were Nintendo franchises I'd just been completely out on until they came out on the Switch. And as soon as they came out on the Switch, I was like, well, I might as well. And oh my goodness. I mean, clearly, you got your Pokemon and your Mario Kart, and there's plenty of others. But I think by the time this all finishes, by the time the Switch kind of comes to the end of its life cycle, I think the Switch is going to be challenging the Dreamcast as my very favourite video game console ever. Because as it stands at the moment, that is it. Dreamcast is my very favourite game console ever. I have such good memories of the Dreamcast. I've still got a really quite sizable collection of Dreamcast games. I mean, to the point, a couple of years ago, my Dreamcast broke, and I immediately jumped onto eBay and bought a replacement. Because why would I not? Right, we got a 5-star Dragapult raid. Now, bearing in mind, I think we failed one of these last week, so let's not be a phalanx about it. Let's take down this Dragapult. So, ladies and gentlemen, why are we spamming Re? Why are you spamming Re? I've noticed. But why are we spamming Re? I've noticed. Anyone who disrespects Snorlax in the chat disrespects me, because Snorlax is my favourite Pokemon. Snorlax was my original second favourite Pokemon. I'm sure I've told you this before. Back in Gen 1, Porygon, Snorlax, Golem. That was the official 1 to 3. I finally got Shield and beat it in about 2 days. Yeah, yeah, the comment section is my viewers. I want a better word for that, but the people who are watching my streams generally are awesome, and the chat is really fun. Oh, the Dreamcast. Oh, I tell you what. So, in the comment section, in the chat, tell me favorite video game console ever. Let's. You won't hit Dragapult because it's a ghost Pokemon and Phalanx is fighting. Sorry. I've told you I'm going Phalanx. I'm doing every raid I come across, and I'm going Phalanx in every raid. And if Phalanx turns out to be a bad choice, Phalanx is a bad... Oh, look at... Now, this is a Rebel Clash lineup. Appleton, Phalanx, Copperaja, Toxtricity... So what we got? Megahorn it is. At least I can hit it. 3DS, NES, Splatoon, SNES, DS, Switch, PlayStation, Wii U, nice. PSP, I've got and I love my PSP. I've actually got two. I've got one that I bought and it was hacked, which is kind of annoying, and then one which isn't, so you can update the software or firmware. DS, N64, Switch or Wii. The face cam is... Why is the face cam broken? The face cam shouldn't be broken. The face cam showing is not broken for me. Wii U, SNES, PlayStation 2, 360. Oh, Will, not many people are with you on that one. We seem to be very, very heavily Nintendo, which... shouldn't surprise you, I suppose, in a Switch featured chat. GameCube, hands down. Oh, I mean, to be honest, about the only old console I don't have at home at the moment is a Saturn. I do not have a Sega Saturn. Okay, right. So in my studio right now, let's try and list out the ones I've got in the room, shall we? So we've got... I don't have a NES, actually. I don't have a NES on hand at the moment. My brother's got one I play quite regularly. But I've got SNES, GameCube, N64, Game Boy Color, DS, 3DS, Switch. So basically all Nintendo other than, I suppose not Virtual Boy, but other than NES. I've got Master System, Mega Drive, Dreamcast, no Saturn unfortunately. I've got a Game Gear sitting around here somewhere. I've got a Neo Geo Pocket Color, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS1, 2, 3, 4, PSP, PlayStation Vita. I am quite the connoisseur of retro video games. But I actually can't think of it. I'm missing Saturn, I'm missing original Xbox. Obviously Neo Geo, because those things are stupid expensive, and Virtual Boy. Go look up the Virtual Boy. It was a weird 3D Nintendo console. Elliot says, all my attacks are not very effective, but Toxtricity is from Rebel Clash, totally worth it. That is the kind of enthusiasm I'm looking for. Ben, I love my Dreamcast. Shenmue, Headhunter, Crazy Taxi, Skies of Arcadia, what sort of Jet Set Radio? So much, I have so much love for the Dream. Obviously, Sonic Adventure. First game I remember playing. I get really confused by dates. So I know when I was very young, I had a Game Boy. And now I put it this way. I bought a boxed copy, brand new, of Kirby's Dream Land from a shop called Woolworths, which doesn't exist anymore. So I bought a boxed copy of Kirby's Dream, and I have played, and bearing in mind you can beat that game in half an hour, I have completed Kirby's Dream Land, I mean, definitely dozens of times. There's a decent chance I beat that game over 100 times. It is one of my very, very, very favourite games ever. We are not doing well against this Dragapult. So that would be one. And obviously Tetris back then. I've got really, really clear memories of playing Sonic on a Game Gear years and years ago. Probably one of those. But in terms of games that I remember really playing a lot from a young age, probably Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. Check out the song. I might have a look. I might have a look at that song. Called Barrage of the Elephant, who was caught by the chairman and used it to Dynamax. This is following on from the Baba Double. I sang my daughter, I sang her Baba Double at bedtime the other day. She seemed kind of into it. I haven't played Kirby Star Allies on Switch. It's one of those sad things where I've got quite a long list of Switch games I want to get. And Kirby Star Allies, it's just not... Now, I do have the Robobot, the special edition on 3DS. But there's things like Xenoblade and Fire Emblem and Mario Maker that I also don't have. So I find it... Yeah, it's not... Oh, he's still there. He's still there. I don't know if I can justify going to get that. Also, right, this month, the BioShock collection is coming out. And there were 4 games I really wanted on the Switch. There were 4 games I was desperate for on the Switch to be ported over. And it was Overwatch, which is out. BioShock Trilogy, which is out in a couple of weeks. 23 days. I think 23 days. And then the Mass Effect Trilogy and GTA 5. And we're 2 for 4. So that's kind of cool. Kirby's... I mean, I did play the demo of Kirby. They've had a demo, I'm sure. And I enjoyed the demo greatly. But it's one of those games... If it was down like 15, 20 quid, I'd pick it up. But the problem is, it's a first-party Nintendo game, and first-party Nintendo games don't go down to 20 quid. Right, we're going to fail again against this Dragapult. A sensible person would probably go, right, it is now time to actually bring Pokemon that are super effective against Dragapult, so we can win the 5-star raid. That's not how I roll. It's not how I roll. I doubt Nintendo will partner with Rockstar. Well, remember... what was it called? There was a Grand Theft Auto game on the Nintendo DS, which did get ported to the PSP, but initially was exclusive to the Nintendo DS. So we have had an exclusive Grand Theft Auto game on the DS, and way back when, there was an exclusive Grand Theft Auto game on the Game Boy Color. Now, here's a bit of a deep cut for you. Does anyone played Grand Theft Auto on the Game Boy Color? I have. I own Grand Theft Auto on the Game Boy Color. It's just that I can't quite reach it from where I'm sitting. Chinatown Wars. Thank you. It was Chinatown Wars. Reginald, yes, it's 6 different Pokemon. Thank you to all the lovely people in the chat saying Chinatown Wars. You are absolutely correct. Weirdly, I never picked up that game on the PSP or the DS. I really should. It's supposed to be pretty good. And name it Snorlax. It's what the people want. Who am I to argue with the people, ladies and gentlemen? Who am I to argue with the people? And yeah, so there's an actual Grand Theft Auto on the Game Boy Color. Now, it's very much like the old top-down Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 and London. And it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. To the point you have to hijack a car, but the Game Boy Color had such little processing power that you would, and I'm not exaggerating, you would sometimes see like one car every couple of minutes. You would often walk around for quite a while and not find a single car to hijack. It's ridiculous. I love it. In the same way, I've also got Street Fighter 2 for the Game Boy, and this isn't Game Boy Color. This is original Game Boy. And I actually go to Wassy Plays. I made a video called something like, Did You Know They Released Street Fighter? Oh my goodness. Round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Round 2. I'm still playing Phalanx. And G-Max Snorlax is Galarian Torterra. I love that. You are absolutely right. And Street Fighter 2 on the Game Boy, it's garbage, it's rubbish. It's missing a couple of characters, and it's slow and jerky, and it's a one-on-one fighting game. Slow, jerky fighting games, no. But, oh, I love that it's a thing. I love that it's a thing. Bye, Elliot. Thank you for coming along. Now, somebody said about sending a card a little while ago. Anything like that, I'm not always watching the chat for the entire time. So, what I will say is very simply, my email address is ptcgradio@hotmail.co.uk. You will have seen it pop up in the chat a few seconds ago. If you ever want to get in touch with me about things of that nature, or you just want to say hello, that's my email. Now, that email I only use for work-related things, which means that when I get an email to that email address, I check it and I use it. You'll see, Kristaps, you'll see. So, if ever you guys really want to get in touch with me, you want to tell me something or anything along those lines, that's the way to do it. But yeah, going back to the thing, yes, Grand Theft Auto has traditionally been more of a PlayStation thing, but there is a weird history of Grand Theft Auto games with Nintendo. Speaking of which, I think Grand Theft Auto 2 did get a Dreamcast released. One of the weird Dreamcast games I never actually ended up picking up. Well, one day I will. What is my friend... Oh, I posted my friend code in the chat earlier. Did anybody write it down? What I will do next time, because I've been terrible at this stream. Next time we're waiting for a raid, I will go and get a couple of friend requests. I'll make sure it happens. I'll go and accept all the friend requests. And it will be nice. So there we go. Alrighty then. So, alright. My apologies. I had a couple of things I needed to check up on. L.A. Noire was ported to the Switch. You are right. That was a Rockstar game. That's another one that is on my list of Switch games to get at one point. but it's also time. I mean, at the moment, I am. That's a question for the chat. What games are you playing at the moment? If it's more than one, give me more than one. At the moment, I am currently playing through Uncharted 4. That's a game I play for kind of an hour an evening while my wife sits and crochets after tea. I am playing through Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Animal Crossing on the Switch. And I'm playing through Gears Tactics on the PC. And by the way, Gears Tactics, that might end up as my game of the year. I am absolutely loving it. Loving it. So, yeah, they're the 4 games I'm playing at the moment. And it does occur to me that I am managing to kind of juggle 4 games while doing my videos at the moment. So, maybe lockdown is working for me time-wise. But they all kind of fit into their different things. Animal Crossing is a play for a little bit over lunch and play when my friends are playing. Uncharted 4 is a play with my wife after tea while she's sitting crocheting or reading a book. Mystery Dungeon is, a little bit in the evening while watching telly. And then I generally pop into my studio for an hour or two when my wife and children, there are 2 of them, have gone to bed to play that on me PC. Love it. Right, so what's everybody playing then? Oh, Starlink Battle I picked up for an embarrassingly low price. I picked it up with the Star Fox ship and person for less than a tenner. It was ridiculous. I'm going to get to that one day. Fire Emblem, Crash Insane Trilogy, Jedi Fallen Order is very much on my list. I really want to play that game. More Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing. Will's playing Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing, and Animal Crossing. Oh, and Animal Crossing. Oh, Streets of Rage 4. I do want to play Streets of Rage 4. A little while ago, I picked up an arcade stick for my Switch. A small, cheapy one, but still. So it makes games like Streets of Rage 4 way more fun. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh, I love the Phoenix Wright. I love Phoenix Wright. Final Fantasy VII. Again, that is a game that's on my list I need to get to. I just don't have the time or money right now. Omega Ruby. Nice. Just beat Darkwing Duck for the NES. That's a bit of a deep cut, and I love it. Streets of Rage 4 is not that much, and it's just come out. It's not, but because of the whole mortgage children thing, I tend to, unless it's something like Animal Crossing where all of my friends are playing it, I tend to try and wait on games, unless it's, a really important one. I try and wait on games as much as I can, try and get them to drop in price. So I'm hoping that Streets of Rage 4 will be on sale for like a tenner on the eShop in a few months' time, and then I can pick it up at that point. Doom Eternal, I tell you what, I am one of the very few people, it seems, that play Doom 2016 on the Switch. I love Doom 2016. I was playing that on the plane to Australia to commentate internationals, and I didn't even notice we were coming into land. I felt the plane land. Literally, I was 30 seconds to a minute away from beating the final boss of Doom, and the plane landed. And I was just like, just leave me alone. I'll get my stuff in a minute. I'm beating the final boss. I'll do you one better, Will. I have Captain Toad on the Switch, the Wii U, and the 3DS. Now, name it. Now, some of you might be thinking, Wassy, if you have Captain Toad on the Switch, why do you need it on the 3DS? The answer is I really wanted to see what it was like, and there's a shop around me, there's an Argos store near me. They were having a proper job clearance sale, and I picked it up with my employee discount, because my wife works there, for about £4. I picked it up ridiculously cheap, and I'll tell you what, it looks a bit rough, but Captain Toad on the 3DS totally holds up. Zippy Boy. I like Zippy Boy. Let's call it Zippy Boy. Still one of my favorite things about these streams is you guys naming my mons. Cool. So we've got 2 5-star Dragapult now. I would love the Kid Icarus from 3DS to come onto Switch. I have seen Kid Icarus and like I've said, my philosophy generally is try and pick up games stupid cheap. I have seen Kid Icarus on the 3DS very, very cheap. But the problem is, what I've basically heard about that game is it just controls horrifically. And it's really awkward to actually play. And it put me off. It completely put me off. I will pop the friend code up in just a moment when let's go do a raid down here. Oh no, I've run out of wishing star piece or whatever they're called. Darn it. Right, where actually, I always forget where I am. Now, yes, they are. I thought they were over here. Hey dude, send me some wishing stars. Right, a wishing piece. How many can I buy? 15! Right, let's buy 15. Let's hope I don't need any of the rest of them. Right. Back to it. Let's just do one here. I would like to throw in a wishing piece. I postponed my dinner for the stream, and boy do I love my dinner. That's why you're the best. Thank you very much. Okay, right. So, let's set up a code as we always do. And let's not forget the friend code. Right, so, and I've got a bunch of friend requests to accept. So, the friend code is 5549. You'd think by now I'd have had it written on a Word document that I could just copy and paste into the stream. You would think that, but you would be wrong. So, let's just go and accept all of these lovely friend requests. Also, in case anyone's wondering, yes, I am using my lovely Pokemon controller that my loving wife bought me for Christmas. Loved your video about budget decks and Rebel Clash. Got me so pumped. I think it's the best set so far, but I can't say that for sure. It's only the second Sword and Shield set. I do like... I mean, there's things like Magmortar, right? I was not buying Magmortar. I did not think it was going to be particularly good, but actually, yeah. How well does Doom run on the Switch? The biggest problem with it is it's played on a very small screen. It runs fast, it runs smooth. I found it an absolute joy to play. Put it this way, it took me about 12 hours to beat it, and I beat the entire thing in handheld mode, and I pretty much only played it on trains and aeroplanes. Hey, Seth's taking a break from studying for finals. You better go back to studying after the stream, Seth. I'm watching you, metaphorically. Okay, so let's hope the raid isn't starting. Josh cheated? Okay, so we're going to do probably one or two more raids after this. After this raid, what we'll say is try and limit it to people who haven't raided with me before. So, what we'll do after this raid, I'll try and make it super simple, so anyone that wants to raid but hasn't can come and raid in the next couple. Runs fine, looks meh. Yeah, I'll go along with that. The thing is, games don't need to look as good in handheld mode because of the small screen and quite good quality screen. It works out. Oh, why did Josh cheat? Tell me what Josh did. I didn't spot anything during the stream. Oh, I've not caught this dude yet. I want this. I really want this dude. I don't have him. I know he is because there's a different Rotom you can get in Shield at the moment, but this is the sword dude. He Oranguru'd with no Oranguru? How did I miss that? I apologise if I missed that in my commentary. Jens, I will try and make sure you get in a raid next time. Yes, Joe did the meta video. I love it. I love that Joe did that. Joe is one of the best analytical minds in the Pokemon trading card game. Joe is one of the people where when I'm having a silly deck idea, Joe is one of my go-to dudes where I'm like, right, let's go do this. Do I recommend Slay the Spire? If you are even remotely interested in card games of any description, I could not recommend Slay the Spire more highly. It is a deck-building roguelike, so essentially what you do is you start with a deck of cards. There's 3 characters that play slightly differently, and you go through a randomized path through the game, and every time you beat a room of enemies, you get to select one of 3 cards to add to your deck. I'm simplifying things a little bit. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's phenomenal. I adore Slay the Spire. They've actually added a 4th character now, and I've not had chance to, well, that's a lie. I've not played with it yet because I've been too busy with Animal Crossing and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but I'm going to get back to that soon. There are 2 indie games on the Switch that I could not recommend any more highly, and they are Slay the Spire and Hollow Knight. They're not AAA, they're download, although, no, to be fair, Hollow Knight did get a physical release, but they're generally download games, they're usually fairly cheap. I could not recommend... No, Thomas, I did get your Copperage of the Elephant instead of Nelly. I loved it. I did get it as well. I knew it was Nelly the Elephant. And thank you, that brought a smile to me face. But those 2 games, I could not recommend them more highly. I think they are 2 of the very, very best games on the Switch. Hollow Knight, and this is a big claim, Hollow Knight is going to be one of my games of the generation. It is going to be one of my very, very favourite games of the generation. Louis, you can't ask me to name it before I've caught it. You're going to jinx it. Kristaps, I like you've already played Animal Crossing half the time you've played Pokemon already. Something to remember, I have played Shield as well. Yes, I caught my Rotom. And I'm sorry, we've already had a better name. Louis' Cookie was just amazing. So we're going for that one. But the thing with Animal Crossing is, I end up playing it for half an hour or an hour every day while I'm digging up my fossils, hitting my rocks, just doing the kind of daily things we tend to do. But also, there's often times where my friends are jumping in and playing for a little bit, so I'll go and have a play with them. And it's a kind of game that drags you in for a little bit at a time. Are the battle deck lists out, Blistering Rage Gaming? Are the battle deck lists, have they been revealed? Because if they have been revealed, I'll do that video tomorrow. Right, so I'm going to set up a raid now. I'd ask anyone that's been in my raid so far today to please not join the raid, to try and let some people who haven't been. Now, if you want to join the raid, what you do, push Y, push X, so that it's all up to date. Find me on here, and you can just enter the code 4444 and join in. So, that's how you do it. When I start the raid, go on, push Y to go onto this screen, find me on here, and enter the code 4444. And that should get you into the raid. And if you've done a raid with me already today, now if you did one last week or the week before, come on in. That's fine. But I'm saying just people who have raided with me already. Oh, stupid Ghastly. People who've already raided with me today, if you could duck out of this one, just give some other people a chance. We might only be able to have 1 or 2 in there. I don't know if we're going to have much time for this, unfortunately. What day will the professor's ranking be? I actually do have a space in my schedule later in the week. So if there's not much news for the rest of the week, it's probably going to be in there on Friday. Oh, Togekiss raid. So, I'm going to set it up with 4444. You can come and find me in person, or you can just look on the Y button. But like I say, please don't join if you've already joined a raid so far. Vescular Gold, I love that you've been in with the raid. The other thing is, at the beginning of the stream, it can be quite hard to find people. So I love that you guys are coming in and raiding with me at the beginning. It really, really is awesome. But I do want to make sure that other people can come and join in. Now, is there anyone that hasn't joined in yet that wants to join in that is available? There's the question. Oh, you do need an online membership, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, in order to take part. If we get down to kind of like a minute remaining and we still need some people, then obviously anyone who's been in can jump in to fill out the You can fill out the roster. Right. I do have a few more friend requests. My friend list is ballooning because of these streams. But like I say, it's kind of cool because it means when I want to play games online, I can often find people to play with because you guys have added me all on Switch. And that's kind of cool. I like being able to find random people to play with online, especially when they're not actually random. They're people who have been on my streams, so I know that you're cool and you're not the kind of people I don't want to be playing with. Which makes me very happy indeed. Right. How are we doing in terms of getting people into the... Okay, we're good. We got Will with Phalanx, Chris with Copperaja, and Gloria with Dragapult. We've got a nice list of Rebel Clash Pokemon going on here. Lovely. Although I think this might end up being our final raid. So, let's ask the question we always ask. John Steve Abu, it's almost 1 a.m. where I am. Staying up late is worth it, giving out names for captured Pokemon. I am delighted that you're here. So, tell me where you are in the world. Nice random people, that's how I'd phrase it. Tell me where you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and tell me what time is where you are. In Cali, we won't have any events for at least 6 months. It sucks, I know. But, David Sims, send me an email is the best way to set this up. But, it sucks, but it's got to be the way. I hate it. You know, I was definitely going to be going to the internationals in Berlin, and I wasn't able to. But, it's a shiny Phalanx! But I do think it's, you know, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Jens. I'm so sorry you didn't get in. Tennessee, Mexico, Britain, US, Tennessee, Virginia, Dorset, Latvia. Didn't know we had any Latvians watching. Montreal, more Mexico, Los Angeles, Michigan, California. Go Lions. Philippines, Georgia, Malta, Canada, Tennessee. I don't think you actually are on the moon. Oh man, I've got hiccups. I'm getting hiccups. When will the next Pokemon game come out? Well, the next Pokemon game is going to be essentially the DLC for Sword and Shield. So I don't think they're going to drop another Pokemon game while we're waiting for them to come down. If they have events in the UK, I'm flying there. I want to get back to events. I want to get back out and play physical card games again. I really do. But it's as with everything, we've got to be sensible with this. It's as fun as events are, and events are brilliantly fun. At the end of the day, nothing is more important than keeping everyone safe and healthy. South Africa, Georgia, I love seeing how spread out we all are. You know, we're all sitting here kind of raiding together and enjoying ourselves, and hopefully enjoying ourselves anyway. And we've got everyone from Latvia to the US to Mexico. We're all over here. It's wonderful. I mean, I was expecting a Diamond and Pearl remake. I got a friend of mine who works for the Pokemon company. Lovely dude called Jay. Works in animation. Lovely, lovely dude. I was chatting with him a while ago, and this was before... Oh, might have been just before Let's Go got announced. And I laid out to him my theory of why, and I did do a video about it, why I was convinced we were getting a Sword and a Diamond and Pearl remake. I was wrong. And I'll happily admit that. I was convinced we were getting a remake of Diamond and Pearl, and it just never happened. I have the best and easiest job. What's my easy job? Easy. Ha! Hey, Turboflarion. To be honest with you, I don't think YouTubing is the most difficult job by any stretch of the imagination. I do make it more difficult for myself with the amount of things I try and do, but compared to some other jobs I've had in the past, yeah, this is not the most difficult job ever. Jens, you are absolutely correct. I can't tell you what it is, but over the past couple of days, I've been collaborating with somebody who I've not been collaborating with before and working with a new person. There are a couple of really, really cool things I've done over the past couple of days that I will be able to... I can't tell you about them now, but I will be able to tell you about them soon. Oh, it's so much fun. There's some really, really cool things I've got in the pipeline. Cannot tell you now. Twitter at the Wassy is the best place to do so. But yeah. I don't know why we're calling it Kissy Boo Boo, but let's do it. So yeah, there's some really cool things I've got kind of cooking, and you'll hear about them in a couple of weeks. And I'm excited, and you should be too. Right, so I have a code to give away for Let's Go Eevee. Thanks to the lovely folks over at the Pokémon Company International. They gave me the code. I'm passing it on to one of you lovely ladies and gentlemen. So I've asked my wife to give me a random number, and what I'm going to do nice and simply is I am going to get a list of people in the chat. As I've said many times before, you cannot enter and you cannot increase your chances of winning. It has to be a random giveaway, boring legal reasons. It has to be an actual just random giveaway. I'm going to pick one of you at random. I'm going to send you a code. All I ask is, if you've got Let's Go Eevee, please tell me so I can give the code to somebody else, because I want the code to go to someone who is going to download the game and then start playing it and have a lot of fun with it, rather than doing anything else with it. Right, my wife has given me the number 32, so I'm going to count from the bottom of the list up until we get to 32. And it's actually stopped on Caleb Glisson. So, do you have Let's Go Eevee? And you guys can't hear this because you're on a little bit of a delay. So, and now we wait to see. And I assure you guys, this is completely random. It is literally... Oh, there's a Ghastly fighting me. I'm a level 97 failing, so I feel pretty good. So, and now we just wait for the confirmation for Caleb to tell me whether he does or doesn't want it. And then, of course, usual rules, send me an email, and yeah, job's a good one. Now, has Caleb replied yet? Nice. Yes, all right. Caleb wants it. So, Caleb, you can either give me an email address and I will email it to you, or you can email me at ptcgradio@hotmail.co.uk and I will respond to that with your code. Remember, if you're based in the US, what you need to do is make a European profile. It's free. You don't need to put in a card. Make a European profile on the Switch. You can then put in what will be a European code, and when you download the game, you can go back to your American profile, and the game will still be there waiting. So you will need to make a European profile, but I've said this before, I'll say it again. You should all make an American and Japanese and European profile on the Switch, because the games that are on sale and the games that are, getting demos, etc., are not always the same, and it's nice to have those 3 different profiles to play around with. Right. So, there's my email address. The thing is, you guys are on kind of a 10-second odd delay. So when I'm like, oh, is Caleb here? Is Caleb here? I know you're not actually hearing that for 10 seconds. And then you all start replying. But of course, by that point, it's all on a bit of a delay. Congratulations, Caleb. And apologies, the code now has been given out. As always, thank you guys for coming along. I love doing this. This is an absolute blast. This is legitimately one of the highlights of my week. But unfortunately, my children's bedtime is 7 o'clock. And there are various child-related things to be done before they go to bed. So, how do you make a US profile? It's very, very, very easy. Can I show you now? Oh. How do we do that? There we go. You can see all... I've played 40 hours of Animal Crossing? Goodness. That's a lot. More than I thought. Oh, I forget how to do it now. It's probably in settings, isn't it? There we go. So we go into system settings, click add user, and then you can add a profile, set your region, and all of that. Something I'd recommend you all do. Right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and look after yourselves till next time. Thanks to Pokemon for providing the code. Thanks to you guys for being here. Comment, like, subscribe, you know all the deal. Twitter @TheWassy. Send me an email. Do what you like. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching live PTCG Radio. Bye!